Okay, you guys, happy Sunday. Welcome back to another episode of Presley's Pod. I hope you're enjoying this after a great week. I had a very universal female experience today. I woke up and I said, why do I feel like trash? Why do I feel like trash? I didn't drink last night. I went to bed early. My Aura ring is so proud of me. I had a very busy day yesterday, but still shouldn't equate to how I was feeling this morning. So I got up and I said, I really hope I'm not getting sick. I had a headache. I did not feel good. I went to yoga, got some movement in, sweated out, came back home, and I was like, I still don't feel good. I took a nap. I woke up and I said, oh, it's my time of the month. And that, I just don't think men understand once we're feeling off and then we get that, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can handle this. This is nothing. Just casually bleeding out all day. Sorry if that was TMI, but seriously, like the things that we go through that we have to handle and still show up and still be expected to show up, period. And that's on literally, and that's on women right there. Okay, so if you can't tell, we're feeling a little kooky today. I had a very busy week and I also had some realizations this week, so we're about to get into it. First things first, yesterday I spent a majority of the day with a group of my close friends. And I left that and I was like, wow, I am so lucky to have this group. I am so inspired by them. I'm so motivated by them. Like, wow, I'm so happy that we all met. And then I turned around and I said, well, Presley, you also fully picked these friends too. You have free will to decide who you're going to be friends with. I fully was like, yep, this is my group. Yes, this is who I want to be around all the time. Yes, this is who I want to share all these experiences with. So, yes, I am lucky that I met these people and they came into my life, but also we all chose each other. Remember that you're an adult and you have free will. If there's someone that you don't want to be friends with or you don't see yourself vibing with, there's only so much time in the day. Granted, it's hard to make friends when you're not constantly surrounded by people that are either in school with you or you grew up together, or like it was so easy to make well, kind of easier to make friends in school and activities and college and all the things, and then you get to your real life and you're only around your coworkers all the time. And you kind of start to feel like, okay, well, I guess I should be friends with my coworkers because I don't have a lot of other people. And I want to talk a little bit about that today because I have some experience with that. I know myself, I am much better in a friend group one on one. One on one. I do not like to do big group activities. Okay. I know that's going against what I just said, but when I say a group of my friends, one, two, three, 5, 6, there were 6 of us. So I can handle that. But I do not have 6, 7 best friends that we all do everything together. And it's funny because this time, well, around ish this time last year, there's 2 girls that you've probably seen on my TikToks and I've mentioned on here before, Lauren and Addie, that we had known each other, or at least known of each other for a while, but something in this past year really clicked for us. And I realized that we are all very motivated, busy, inspiring to each other. And we all really see the world the same way, but we all still each have our own individual goals that do not align with each other's, if that makes sense. We don't all want the same thing. Some want to get married, some want kids, some don't want to get married. We all have that same drive and we all see the world the same. But I think the variety of goals and lifestyles that we want to live truly helps keep us closer. I heard someone on a podcast saying that groups of three will never work because someone is always talking about someone behind their back, right? The one goes off, the two talk about them, etc. And I immediately said, I cannot imagine doing that with Lauren and Addie. I can never imagine someone walking off, turning to the other and talking poorly about them, right? The only time that it has happened was one time last 2 weeks ago. We were all out, and Lauren, she is the most motivated, successful, busy person I've ever met. And this summer, she will say it, this summer she overbooked herself, okay? And so we were like, we have to make sure that she has fun tonight. We want to, remind her next year to not overbook herself like this, remind her of what she's saying, like try to give her good advice, like try to be there for her because she needed some extra love towards the end of her busy season. But I can't imagine being like that around each other. And so we decided when we were in Florida together to purchase little friendship rings, okay? And so we went to David Yurman, shout Yurman, right? Yurman, David Yurman, I think that's how you say it. Shout out, we went in Naples and we picked out our rings, and then we went to the store here in New York and got them together. And I think that was a fun thing for us to do because obviously Naples is kind of where we solidified our bond, and then coming to New York and picking them up near where we work, which is kind of where we met. It was really special for us. And yeah, so female friendship is truly, truly, truly so important. I think there was a study, and again, maybe I'm just making this up, but someone said that if you ask a man who his best friend is, he usually says his girlfriend, partner, wife, etc. But if you ask a woman, she's like Addie, Lauren, Hadley, Hayden. I'm just naming all of my friends. They name all of their friends before their partner. But I think that truly this year I've really dived into my female friendships and it's brought me so much joy. So circling back to dealing with friends in a coworker office environment, right? I remember when I got my first big girl job, my first real job in New York City, I was having a hard time being friends with some of the girls. I didn't We just weren't clicking. There wasn't, and we were all around the same age. We were all there doing the same thing. So I thought, oh, we're just gonna all like mesh together like one big happy family. And I was kind of the new girl, so I was a little bit, on the outside of the group. And I was just like, I'm not like, I just don't feel, I was talking to someone about it at the time, and I was like, I just don't feel like I'm really clicking with these girls. I don't really know, like, do they not like me? Is there something that I need to do differently? A little bit of self-reflection, like, okay, am I being, I don't know, weird or rude somehow? I was trying to figure out what was going on. And the advice that I got was, these girls are your coworkers. You don't have to be friends with them. You go, you're nice, you go to work, you go home. And that's it. And then maybe once in a blue moon, you can all go out together and do something. But I think that, and unfortunately, that advice was from a man, but that's the only time that I will. That and the other advice from the Vegas episode, that's it. No, no more advice, unless it's my dad, or my accountant. Period. Okay, so um, I think that that's such good advice because first, when I was in that scenario, and in that situation, because I was being kind of not, what's the word? Like, they weren't open to getting to know me. I got to take a step back and assess the group from a fly on the wall standpoint. And that gave me so much insight to these girls more versus just diving headfirst in and trying to like infiltrate this friend group, because I took a step back and I was like, oh, interesting. So when she leaves the room, you start talking trash about her. Okay, I can't trust you. You actually don't really like this group. Interesting. Good to know. Like, there's so many things that you can observe from being a fly on the wall. And I had a very similar experience in college. The school that I went to has a campus in New York and a campus in LA. And so I did that program. I did half of my degree in New York and the other half in LA. But when I got to LA, I didn't necessarily realize that I would be joining a group my semester that had already been there since day one. So while I was working away in New York City, they were working away in LA, and then I just popped over and became the new person. Same thing. I could not crack the code on this group. And I started to be like, there must be something else going on here. And I found out that it was a situation with a bully. Oh my gosh, this girl was bullying me. Hope she's well. But yeah, I met her in New York, and then apparently she just told everyone that I was a teacher's pet and blah blah blah, and that's why no one wanted to be my friend. And then after, and I didn't know this, so then while I was there, I was still friends with her. And then after she graduated, it was like everyone felt that they were safe enough to come talk to me and tell me the horrible things that she was saying about me. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay, good to know. She's since been unfollowed on Instagram. She didn't even get the mute, she got the unfollow. Woo! Okay. So, but that's the same thing, right? I was in that group and I just got to be a fly on the wall. And that's my advice to you all is, if you're with a new group of people or you got a new job, you're joining, except whatever it is, a new team, whatever, be open to these people, obviously, but remember that you're joining already established connections. So don't try to dive in head first and mess up the flow of the group, but be a fly on the wall, because I think diving in head first, you're like, oh, I shouldn't have been friends with you. Like, I definitely get along way better with you. And now it's awkward that I'm going to stop being friends with you and go be friends with you. So be a fly on the wall. Suss out the situation, okay? Don't dive in too quickly. But the bottom line of all of this is, you don't have to be friends with anyone that you do not want to be friends with, okay? And if someone does not want to be your friend, don't be their friend. Don't keep fighting for their attention. Don't keep trying to make it work. If you're feeling in your gut that this person is not your friend, then you're an adult. You have free will. Do not be friends with them. And I think when I first started to understand this was when I went and I visited a city that I used to live in, and I was like, oh my gosh, well, I have to see all these people. I have to get breakfast with this person and then drinks with this person and then dinner with this person. And then I have to do the same thing for the next 3 days so I can make sure that I see everyone. And I took a step back and I said, Presley, who do you really want to see? Who do you really want to make time for? And who also is going to make time for you? Okay. It's that classic story of, if your car breaks down in the middle of the night, who is going to come pick you up? Okay. Half of my friends are never on their phones, but I still know that they're good friends. But I know that I will be calling the girls that are like me and are always on their phone and always accessible. But in your head who would and who wouldn't do that for you. So I do think that it's very important to be friends with people that are, again, what I was kind of explaining with Lauren and Addie. You want to be friends with people that have some different variety to them, because if you're only friends with people that are exactly like you, they want the same things as you, maybe they have the same job as you got to get out there and explore a little bit more of that variety to see what else is out there. I have friends that don't work in the same industry that I'm in. I have friends that are married. I have friends that are trying to get pregnant. I have a lot of variety. And for me, that's so eye opening to hear about their experiences and, what they want out of life. And even though it's completely different than what I want out of life, we still have that mutual respect for each other. And that is the key. Okay. So you need to make sure that when you're exploring these new friend groups, this new terrain, you still need to make sure that you give your friends that mutual respect if they want something different from you in life. That is completely okay. That is their life. It's life. There's truly no right or wrong way to do it. So if you're friends with someone that wants something completely different than you, that doesn't mean that you can't be friends. You just need to have that mutual respect for each other, and that friendship will flourish. I also think it's a very small bubble that you're creating for yourself if all of your friends do the same thing and want the same thing. So branch out a little bit, start putting yourself out there when it comes to the friends, and you never know. I do have a lot of friends that are long distance, and it makes my heart so sad that they're so far away. But what we do to make sure that we still catch up is have a FaceTime at least once a month. Sometimes it's every 2 months. Sometimes things get busy. It's fine, whatever. But I know that on that FaceTime, I am giving them for however long. Usually we cap it at an hour. FaceTimes are kind of weird because you could sit there and talk forever if you don't have anything to do. But like going to dinner, cap it at an hour, cap it at 2 hours, and make sure that you're at least catching up with your friends and checking in. Granted, it is fun to sometimes to have that friend where you haven't seen them in 6 months, and you sit there at a restaurant and you just yap away until closing trying to catch up on your entire life. But I do think it's important to check in periodically every month just to keep those relationships going, and also having an end goal of when you're going to see each other, like a long distance relationship. But with friends, you need to make sure that there's at least a time at some point that you're going to see each other. But I really look forward to those nights, especially being an introvert. Not an introvert. I'm not an introvert. I just like to stay home. Is that an introvert? I don't know. I just like to have my day and I like to go home. So maybe that is an introvert, but I like to just sit and talk to my friends and hear about their lives. I really truly look forward to it. So just because someone moves away or someone's, going and doing something else doesn't mean that you still can't catch up with them on FaceTime or a phone call or a group Zoom. Those are so fun. My friends and I have done that before. You set up a little business meeting on Zoom and you just yap away until that free trial kicks you off after 45 minutes. Then you switch over to someone else's email. Okay, great. So, something else that I kind of realized, talking about all my friends and kind of seeing what everyone's, I've been catching up with a lot of people recently. I am the single one in my friend group, and group as in like all of my friends, because again, I only have the three and then I'm one on one with everyone else. But I truly have no one. There's literally no one. All of my friends are either engaged, boyfriend, married, or they at least have someone that they're dating casually. And I don't have anyone. And I'm okay. Wow. I'm okay because usually there is someone. Okay, it's New York City. Usually there's someone that I can text to say, "Do you want to, what are you up to? Drinks, dinner, hang out, whatever." Usually there's someone, but there's truly no one. I was catching up with my friend who she was telling me about the guy that she's currently dating, all the good things. And she was like, "Okay, what about you? What's up?" Because usually I have something to say. And I said, "There's literally no one. There's truly no one." And you know what keeps me okay is I have no desire to be in a relationship right now. It would be fun to, have a little fling, a little winter fling, a little fall fling, okay? But I have no desire to be in a relationship because, and I always ask myself this. I say, do I want to meet someone's family right now? And that to me, I'm like, nope, I'm good. And for some reason, that I ask myself that and I'm like, nope, I'm okay. I think there's so much on the horizon for me right now, especially getting into the end of the year. We're getting busy, the business is booming, things are happening, and I just don't want a relationship. And so because I don't want to deal with that, I've realized that it's given me more time to really be there for my friends when it comes to their situations. And yes, this is going against all of the advice that I said that my mom gave me in last week's episode of like, don't overthink it, just date, just get out there. But now I have time on my hands to psychoanalyze everything that these men are saying to my friends. And I'm like, where's he coming from when he said this? Oh, he said that to you. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, he did that. Oh, good, good. Oh, no, 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 no. Red flag, red flag. So now I have time to be there for my friends. But so, yes, usually there's someone. And honestly, I love my own company. Like all of my friends, they know I will always Irish exit or I just won't go because I love to be home. And you're, again, with the friendships, like you're fully in charge of where you spend your time, energy, and money. And I don't want to put any of that towards men right now. So I'm going to just be here with me and my friends. And I've realized that I'm okay with this now because I'm entering my busy season. And so I thought to myself, well, Presley, what about someone that is not entering their busy season and who's not okay with not having anyone and just wants to, they're looking around to all of their friends and they're like, why not me? Why not me? And so here's my tip for if you're the single friend of the group. I have two ends of the spectrum of this. One, don't force it. Literally, do not force it. Do not stress about it. Put the energy towards something else. And I swear to you, when I am not putting my energy towards men, someone pops up. And I'm like, oh, where did you come from? Interesting. That's how it's kind of always kind of always happened. But when I'm focused on something else, boom, a man appears. So granted, that's not maybe the advice that you're looking for, but here's the other end of the spectrum, okay? There are 10 million dating apps out there. We live in New York City. Men are running around like chickens with their heads cut off everywhere, okay? Download a dating app, go out with whoever looks normal and who asks you out. Go out with them and just have fun and enjoy your night. And everyone's always out. So I think you have to ask yourself what you're ready for. Ask yourself what you're ready for. If you're dating for a relationship, I think you focus on yourself and you dive in and you don't overthink it. But if you're wanting to just have fun and go out, hit up the dating apps. Obviously, be safe. Don't go out with any weirdos. But there you go. So, the last thing I'll leave you with that I was actually thinking about this week, because I've realized that this is so me, I really want to work on not letting people have access to me 24/7. So, think about it like business hours, right? You can set business hours for your personal life. So, for me, for example, when I'm on my phone, I will respond to you right away. I can't, if someone texts me a question, I cannot just sit there and not answer the question. So I'm setting business hours for myself. One, when I wake up at 7 a.m., I am not responding to anyone until 8 a.m. That first hour of the morning is for me. I go to bed at 10 p.m. usually. So I actually think I'm going to push that to 2 hours before. I'm going to sit, I'm going to enjoy my show, and then I'm going to read my book, and then I'm going to go to bed, and I can handle anything that comes my way in the morning. And that goes along with social media. So start thinking about that, because with our phones and with technology, you can have access to anyone you want at right away at your fingertips. So maybe start setting some business hours for yourself. And if you don't want to respond to Becky at 7:30 in the morning, don't respond to Becky at 7:30 in the morning. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed that episode. I love you all. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.